Don't wanna see your tears. Baby, it'll be okay. Don't wanna see you cry, darling. No way.
So for those that don't know about Mayor Hawthorne, give us a brief history onto the musical life of Mayor Hawthorne.
I started out as a DJ and a hip hop producer. I grew up just outside of Detroit, Michigan, in Ann Arbor, and moved to LA a few years back to really pursue making rap music as a career, and ended up singing soul. So, you know, put out a record on Stone's Throw called A Strange Arrangement, and recently signed to Universal Republic and getting ready for album number 2.
And there's a lot of big hopes for 2012 and 2011 for Mayor Hawthorne.
Definitely.
Don't want you to be sad, girl. Don't want you to be afraid. I know that you will understand my ways. One day.
The first song that you wrote and recorded, right?
Yeah, this was it. This was the start of everything. And it was really, you know, originally it was something that I was doing just for my own internal use. I was tired of paying for sample clearance for a lot of the hip hop tracks that I was making, so I decided I would make my own samples. And this was the first experiment with that. And you know, I never actually intended for it to be released to the public or, you know, put on a record. It was just something that was just for me, for my own use, but just couldn't be contained, I guess.
So your music is actually being described as alternative soul. You comfortable with that?
You know what? Everybody's got to label you something, so, you know, you can call me whatever you want as long as you're playing the music.
So
as long as you're listening to it.
For those that don't know, you used to DJ and produce. You know, you was formerly known as DJ Haircut. That was your name, right? Because you used to sit in a barber chair, and the only way that your mum used to get you to sit still was to give you records or something like that?
Yeah, my folks I used to hate to get my hair cut for some reason when I was a kid. I'd have a temper tantrum every time, and the only way they could get me to behave and shut up and take it was they'd buy me records to keep me occupied while I got my hair cut, so that was how I got the name.
So you come from a hip hop background, you know, listening to a lot of Ice Cube, Public Enemy, NWA, and all that. So how does a kid that listens to such hardcore rap turn into such a soul singer?
Well, you know, the majority of those ghetto gangster rap cuts have you know, some kind of amazing soul sample involved, and you know, I grew up, you know, near Motown, listening to a lot of Motown music, but I really got to know a lot of soul music through the samples from my favorite rap songs, for digging for the original soul samples. So, you know, then I decided I would make my own, and that's what I had, you know, to use for reference.
And you know, you're quite creative. You know, I think it's quite striking. You look at the videos and you see your dress sense, and you see that you're quite an interesting character.
Well, hopefully, you know, it's just about having your own original style and just doing you. You know, it's all about whatever. You know, I'm a big proponent of doing whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you can feel. You know, confidence is key. So whatever you can, you know, feel confident doing, that's what you need to do.
Because I think you'd fit quite in with the British fashion, like the way that you dress, like what we describe over here is quite dapper.
Well, I'll take that as a serious compliment right there, because that's definitely you guys are raising the bar over here for that.
And I'm sorry, but it just ain't working out. I'm sorry, just ain't gonna work out. Just ain't gonna work out, girl. I'm sorry.
just ain't gonna work out. You pressed that up on a heart-shaped vinyl, which you could see in the video. What inspired that?
Well, that was my first single, the first record that I released, and I'm a huge vinyl junkie, and I wanted to do something that would be really memorable for collectors of vinyl like myself. You know, something that when you were flipping through the crates at the record store that you just couldn't ignore it. So both of the songs on the record dealt with sort of love and relationships or heartbreak, and so that just, you know, I asked Peanut Butter Wolf, the president of Stone Throw, I said, well, you know, what if we pressed it on a red heart-shaped record? I was almost, you know, halfway joking, and because that's a really expensive thing to do, and
of course
we knew we wouldn't really make any money at it doing that, but you know, thankfully Stone's Throw is in it for the music and for the fun, so they says, yeah, why not? Let's figure out how to do it, and we'll do it.
In the future, we could imagine a lot of people selling those on eBay for a lot more than what they bought it for.
Yeah, well, we'll see, you know. Time will tell.
So you write and record and play a lot of the instruments of your own material, is that correct?
I played the majority of the instruments on A Strange Arrangement and on the new record as well. I played even more instruments on the new record.
Oh. So how does the studio session go down? Because that must be a lot of work right there.
It is a lot of work playing everything yourself, but you know, I really feel like that it's the best way to capture the original feel, you know, that I'm hearing in my head, and really get 100% of me.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, to be able to really express the vision, you know, I can try to explain it to another musician and have him play it, and maybe he could, you know, he's probably a more talented musician than me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't claim to be, you know, a savant at any of the instruments that I play, but you know, you're getting genuine me.
But with so much of your own input, do you ever face a lot of creative block?
Man, fortunately, the songs have been flowing. You know, I hope I never hit one of those. So far, so good though. I got a lot of songs in me.
Could it be that your love is meant for me? Maybe so, maybe no. Could it be that your love is meant for me? Maybe so, maybe no.
In the maybe so, maybe no video, I see you pointing at a car window, and it said the words on there was Michael Jackson, King of Pop.
Nah, man, the king, the all-time king.
It's just been 2 years, like, to the date of his passing. How did you spend that day? How did you remember Michael Jackson?
Man, I think, you know, just like most people, I broke out all my favorite Michael Jackson songs and sang along and just tried to celebrate, you know, rather than mourn. It's all about celebrating, you know, what he did while he was here.
What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
Baby Be Mine. Number one.
Minutes seem like hours when I'm away from you. La 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 la. Boom, 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 boom.
There aren't many soul artists having a lot of commercial success internationally at the moment. You know, you could name a few: CeeLo Green, John Legend, Janelle Monáe, if you want to put Estelle into that category as well. What do you think of the current soul scene?
There's a lot of really great stuff going on, man. You know, I'm a big fan of most of those artists that you named. I think it's a fantastic thing for music. You know, there's a lot of really good stuff going on. But you know, I definitely don't. You know, I don't pay any closer attention to the soul scene than I do to any other scene. You know, I definitely don't live in, you know, a lot of people hear A Strange Arrangement and they think I live in some sort of soul bubble, but I listen to all kinds of music, you know, rock, and you know, actually I've probably been listening to more rock than anything lately.
Why do you think we're actually in this period where there's not a lot of soul music having a lot of crossover success at the moment?
Man, I think there's been quite a bit of soul crossover success lately. I mean, certainly not, like the 60s and 70s, but or even the 80s probably, but everything goes in cycles, there's a time and a place for everything, and things come and go, and soul music never really goes away. It just kind of, it takes a back seat for a moment and then comes back around.
So you said you've been listening to a lot of rock music of lately.
Yeah.
But of what we've heard of you, so far, there's been a lot of soul records and a lot of love songs.
I like to write love songs.
A lot of love songs. From personal experience, has that been, are you the international pimp, Austin Powers style?
I don't know if I'd go that far, but, I've definitely been through my share of relationships, and it's something that, it's maybe not as easy of a thing for me to talk about in person. It's easier for me to write a song about it and sing, and to get that out, because you got to get it out,
So definitely from some personal experience.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah, because I wish that there's some definite poignant lyrics in that. I wish it would rain. You want it to rain so you could disguise the tears and stuff.
Every one of my songs comes from personal experience, or something that I've observed firsthand, or secondhand from. Some of my songs are written about relationships that friends of mine have gone through, and I've watched the whole thing go down, and it's just good material.